Hi guys, welcome back to Bare and Unscripted. Today I just want to talk to the chosen ones. Um, no, you're not crazy. You are not mad. You are totally not out of your mind. Relationships are hard for the chosen ones. I, I was led to this topic this week, and I tried to fight it so hard, but the Holy Spirit laid it in my heart um, that I need to speak about this, and I need to speak to God's people so that they know that they are not crazy, so that they know that um, He still has their backs. I know it's very hard for us to get caught up in everything that is going on around us, get caught up in thinking negatively, and yeah. So so I just want you to know that if you are the chosen one, relationships are going to be hard for you. And that is because you are called for a higher purpose. When you're called for a higher purpose, you can't mix with just anyone. I know that's what we want to do because we are so empathetic. We just want to hug everybody. We just want to be there for everyone, and we just want to love on everybody. That's okay, but these people can't be in your life. You're just not allowed because you are chosen amongst others. God has set you apart for a specific purpose, a purpose that has everything to do with Him, has nothing to do with you. You didn't ask for it. You Many times you don't even pray for it. You'll be praying for something else, and then God will be calling you to something else. You are totally unqualified for this, and you just like, why me? This could be done by that other person or by that other person, but unfortunately you are the one who's called for this. So it's okay for us to love on everybody. It's okay for us to want to help everybody. It's okay for us to want to rescue everybody because that's one of the things that I struggled with. So anytime I would see someone who's struggling with something, I'd want to be there for them. I'd want to help them in any way that I can. And I got to realize that I'm doing all of this because of the person that I was at some point in my life when I needed everybody else. So I know how it feels like to be alone and to go through life on your own and wishing there was someone to hold your hand. I know what it's like to not be understood by your own family. I know what it's like to lose friends when you need them most. I know what it's like to not be to not even get love from somebody that you thought was going to be there for someone who promised you that they will be there for you forever. And I know what that feels like, and I didn't want anyone to feel like that. So anytime I would meet someone who is in pain, and the my life would always bring me around these people that are in need. My life will always bring me around these people that were suffering, that were dealing with trauma. Most of them, they didn't even want to let go of their trauma. And I would find myself in these situations, and I would think that I'm the one who needs to help them, that I need to help them in some way or the other. I believe that I could heal them. I believe that I could speak positively. I would bring this love into their lives that will make them believe that they're still good in the world. But most people that I met, they didn't want to change. Most people that I met didn't want help. Most people that I met were so used to their trauma, were so in love with their trauma that no amount of love I could give them, would make them let go of it. Some people, we assume that some people need help, but they don't. They actually don't. And you can do whatever it is that you need to do to be there for them, but it's just not going to work. Nothing is ever going to change. So these relationships are both friends and partners. They will both be difficult. On the friendship side, you would notice that um, some friendships need to end. you know. um they would they have done, they're just done. No, you don't need to fight with anybody. You don't need to you can just see that, okay, listen, this is just not working anymore. We've been friends, we've been good friends for a couple of years or whatever, we grew up together, whatever the story is. But now you can see that there is no fruit here, there's no substance here. I don't want to talk about these things that we're talking about anymore. When I'm around you, I don't feel fulfilled anymore. I just feel drained. Um, we going on different directions in life. They want to do this. I want to do this. For instance, for me, I found myself in a situation where I no longer wanted to drink, to go out and drink. I no longer wanted to. I love music. I love music, and I was always happy in a place where there was music, but like not like a club or anything like that. I loved places where it's like a gathering of a few people and there's deep house playing. That's my kind of thing. I guess it goes with the jazz thing as well. I love jazz. I grew up in a home where my mother used to play jazz from noon to, you know, so I grew up in a musical home. So that whole music thing has always been with me. Um, so as I grew up, I fell in love with jazz, and then I fell in love with deep house, and then classical when I'm working. And so I'm always comfortable with this music. So now I found myself in this place where I just didn't want to go anywhere where there's music. I wanted to play my music at home. I just had no interest. And some of my friends that I had, we used to go out, especially Saturday afternoons, because I had stopped the night thing a while back. I was like, 9 p.m. I need to be home. If I'm going out to eat or something, maybe I can push it till 10 p.m. Or if I'm attending someone's party or whatever the case is, then I can be home like 10 p.m. Midnight. That is my latest time that I can be home. So I didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to go out and listen to music. I wanted to listen to my music at home. Or I didn't mind going to a friend's house. I love those cozy gatherings now, like, because I want to. I love fruitful conversations. I want to be able to have conversations with people when I'm with them. I want to talk about things that matter, you know. Um, and I really want to know how they're doing. So because I don't see the point of meeting friends and then we're just listening to music and we're just having drinks and we're just having food, and you don't really talk about the stuff, because people are going through a lot. And if you are sitting down, then that's the only way you're going to find out, by having a conversation with them. So I didn't want to have empty conversations anymore. I didn't want to just go to places for the sake of going anymore. I just didn't want to. I just didn't feel like doing things for the sake of doing them. And I also did not want to go to places because a friend of mine wants to. I wanted to make sure that Faith wants to go. And then, you know, because I also discovered something about myself as well, is that I I wanted to. I was a people pleaser. I So another thing that I discovered as well was that I was going to all of these places because I was trying to please my friends. Most of the time, I didn't want to go. Most of the time, I just preferred to be at home, and I would just go, because I didn't want to be weird, or I just wanted to, you know, just to make sure that they are happy, and that was not okay, because then I was, there was something. I was killing something within me. I was not honoring myself. And for me, that was very big. When I discovered that, Faith, you are not honoring yourself by going to places you don't want to go, by being with people, being surrounded by people you don't want to be surrounded by. You are not honoring yourself. So I had to change that. So you can't mix with just anyone when you are the chosen one. The people that you are going to find it easy to be around are the people that are connected to your purpose. Okay, the purpose that God has for you. Those are the people that are. It's just gonna flow with them. I'm not saying they're going to like the same things that you like all the time, but my friend, it is not, there's not going to be a friction. There's not going to be a friction. And you're not going to feel any jealousy. You're not going to feel any negativity. You're just going to be, you are totally going to be yourself when you're around them. And there won't be many of them as well. I've always said that my close friends are, I can count them in one hand. Right now, as I talk to you, I can probably count them in three fingers. And that is okay because I know that these friendships that I have are quality friendships. I know that I can totally be myself around these people. I know that I can talk to them about anything. I know that I can be vulnerable with them and open up, and tell them anything. So that is one of the reasons why you cannot be around anyone, because God does not want you to deplete yourself, because your energy is very important. He does not want you to disrespect yourself in any way, shape, or form. He does not want you to to not be authentic. He wants you to be completely yourself, because in order for you to live in your purpose, you have to be totally yourself. You cannot fake this. You cannot fake it. You cannot deplete your energy. You cannot do things that you don't want to do. And you also need to be around people that are going to help you get closer to God. He will not let you be around people that are going to make you to separate you from him, because those are not the right people for you. Those are not the right friendships that you should be having. Because when you are the chosen one, you need to be able to hear God speaking. You need to be able to be led by the Holy Spirit. You need to be able to discern. That is the biggest thing for me, because even if I don't know what's going on, even if I'm not sure about things, even if I can be as confused as hell about something, but I'm able to discern. Something tells me, okay, don't go there, don't do this. He's not right for you, she's not right for you. No, I'm able to discern. I might be able to understand something at a later stage, but I would know that deep down within me, something said no. Even though I did go, like Jonah, who was swallowed by a fish when God told him to go to Nineveh, and then he went to Talashish. We do that because we are human. But then, even if we are like Jonah, just like he went to a place where God didn't send him, God was still there because his grace is still sufficient for us. Yeah, so we also, so when these relationships and these friendships are going left when we want them to go right, we might be thinking that perhaps I'm meant to be alone. Maybe I'm not meant for this. Maybe I'm just supposed to be on my own and figure things out on my own. No, none of us, none of us are born to be on our own at all. No human being is an island. There's that saying is very true. You need people around you, but you need the right people. You need quality people. It can't just be everybody. Unfortunately, it can't be. You need to be able to discern. You need to be able to pray about the people that are around you. I'm the first one to say, guys, I did, even after the divorce, I didn't pray about the relationships that I got into. And I would only pray when I'm in them. And God will be like, but I didn't ask you to go into this. Now you want me in this? You didn't call me before you went into it. Now you want me to come. Now that you've decided, you made your own mind, girl. So figure it out. And then I would discover, geez, man, wow, okay. Now I found myself, because the heart is a liar. I'll find myself in love with someone, or I'll find myself very infatuated, whatever. Like I have all these feelings. I'm caught up in something that I have no business being in. I'm with someone that I have no business even talking to. I should have just greeted them and said bye, or I should have just said hello and pass. Now I'm here. I'm with this person, and I'm all caught up now. And now I call on God, like, God, please help me figure this out. And God will be like, no, no, you made your bed and you need to lie in it. Um, so yeah, so I would understand that, okay, I need to, most of the time, I would understand that I need to let this thing go, because it's not good for me. And one thing about the devil, he will lie to you. He will lie to you and say, you're probably supposed to be on your own. He will lie to you and say, you're probably not good enough. He will lie to you and say, maybe you have high standards. He will lie to you and say, um, you know, if the world is such a bad place, and the people are bad, and the men are all this and the women are all that. But those are lies from the depth of hell. Don't believe any of that. Do not believe any of that. There is someone out there for you, but the person needs to be brought to your life by God, not by you, not by your feelings, not by your heart, not not by your heart especially. So all you need to do is to ask him for the person and have the patience to wait, because his time is not our time. He does not do things according to our calendar, according to our time. So um, just lean on him. When I say lean on him, I mean lean on him. Be right next to him and make sure that he is right next to you in everything that you do. God wants us to be completely dependent. When he says we must surrender, he means give everything to me, everything about your life. You tell him that I surrender. I've tried. I told him that at some point in my life. I was like, okay, Lord. So I had some pseudo relationship. I, I call it pseudo because it looked like something that I wanted. I mean, we were in sync with the person. Like, I loved everything about them. We had the best conversations. We used to go out to eat in places that I loved. We exercised together. That is big for me, because I know that one thing for sure, I could never be with someone who does not exercise, ever. I know that's not going to work. And I know also that I could never be with someone who does not believe in God. I tried to fight this one because I was like, it's okay as long as they have something they believe in. It's okay. Um, they don't need to be like me. And God was like, no, 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 no. You are you doing that thing of people pleasing again, Faith. You're doing that thing of people pleasing because you are a spiritual person. You will suffer with a man who is not on their spiritual journey. You will suffer with a man who does not draw their strength from above. You will suffer with a man who does not know who they are. You will suffer with a man who does not know his place in the world, who does not know that greater is he that is in him. You will totally suffer with that. You will suffer with a man who does not know that he's a king, and who does not seek the face of the Lord, concerning you, who does not seek the face of the Lord concerning his life. A man who's unbalanced, you will suffer. And I did suffer, y'all. I did suffer. I did suffer, and I found myself in spaces where I couldn't even be honest about my relationship with God, where I could not even pray the way that I wanted to pray, because I didn't want to look weird. I didn't want this person to think that there's something wrong with her. Like, why are you doing that? I didn't want that. I just wanted to be normal. And that's one thing about me. I'm not normal. I had to accept that. I'm not normal. I need to pray. When I need to pray, I need to constantly communicate to God about everything. Um, so I found myself, in fact, I knew that I had to pray about relationships in my life. I knew that I needed God to lead me, you know, because I knew that my heart is a deceiver. And I knew that I cannot afford to live according to my emotions anymore, to live according to my feelings. Um, so I surrendered, and I told him, please remove anyone you don't want me to be with in my life, friends, um, partner. If you don't want me to be with him, remove him. Um, but I struggled to let them go. He did. He answered my prayer, but now I struggled to let them go. And I had to pray that, God, please help me to be able to let them go. Because we get so used to people, right? We get so used to people and we get so used to doing things with people. It was very difficult. I remember with a relationship, it was in December. That was about 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? Yeah, it was 2 years ago now. Okay. So it was very difficult. It was very difficult because it ended towards the festive season. And who and I had, I had sort of planned in my head, oh, okay, because I spend most of my um Christmas with my best friend, so I'd always go to her house and stuff. So I had planned that, okay, I'm going to ask him if we can go to my friend's place and have, you know Christmas lunch and all of these things, and we're gonna go to a spa, blah 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 blah, because he works so hard, blah blah blah. And yeah, so things ended. When I came back, I went overseas for something, and then when I came back, you know, there were other things that were happening, and then the relationship ended. So it was difficult for me. The whole festive season was difficult, and at that time, God was saying to me, "Let it go, let it go, let it go." I came home, so I went away for work, and then I came back. So and I had a lot to tell him. I was so excited because I wanted to tell him what went on. I wanted to tell him what I want to do for next year. I had all these plans and all these things that I wanted to do. I was all fired up and but when I came back, the relationship ended. And now, wow, that was, even thinking about it, like, that relationship took me under, bruh. It took me under because it's this thing of lying to yourself, man. You can see that something is not gonna work, but you keep on working on it. You can see something is not going to work, but you keep on working on it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you are working on it and you know it's not gonna work. That was me. But everything else, though, besides the truth, everything else was in sync. Okay, everything else was in sync. We loved the same food. We Conversations, great conversations. Exercise, going to exercise together, doing all these things together. Yeah. So anyway, I found myself under. I was destroyed. I was destroyed. I was destroyed. And God was saying to me at that time, Faith, let them go. Let them go. They were not meant to be in your life in the first place. The day you met him at the beach, you were supposed to say hello and goodbye. But you said hello And how are you? And that's where you got it wrong. I I even told someone after I met him, I said, I met this guy while I was running at the beachfront, and he said hello, and then we had a chat, and I actually wanted to hug him. And God was saying, well, you were just supposed to say hello and goodbye, like I told you. See, there's this thing with me. There's this spirit of discernment that I've always I've always been fighting within me, because I know things before they happen. That's another thing with the chosen ones. Tell me if that happens to you as well. You know things before they happen, or even if you didn't know that you know that you know them, but when they happen, it's like you knew this was going to happen. Something like that. It's like you've seen this somewhere, man. Maybe in your unconscious or in your dreams or something. It's like, I've seen this before, or I was expecting this, or something like that. It happens to me all the time. So when I went back there, I felt my spirit telling me that you saw someone who went through a lot of trauma, even though I didn't know what trauma he went through at that time. But he went through a trauma where his mother never loved him, or whatever the case was. And I felt that when I saw him. Very strong guy, very strong guy. You can't even think that he went through what he went through. Tall, and he looks like he's got it together. Top businessman. But when I met him, I saw a young boy who was not loved the way that he was supposed to be loved. I saw a young boy who was begging for scrapes of love from someone. I didn't know it was his mother at the time, but I saw somebody who needed help. I saw someone who was crying on the inside because of how this person had treated him. I saw someone begging to be loved. And my heart wanted to reach out to that. My heart wanted to pour love into this person. But no amount of love I could have poured on the person was going to heal him. No, no amount. I tried. Okay, I tried. I poured everything. I think I poured everything that I could. I was there for him. I I took care of him. I didn't have to, because I'm not his wife, but I did. I took care of him. And I just wanted to make sure that he was okay. I wanted to make sure that he feels heard, and he is loved. But that was not my place. You see, I took on a job that was not my own. It hits differently even now as I say it. I took on a job that was not my own. I made it mine. I made it my business to help him, but it was not my business to help him. It was not my job to help him. I could have been just a friend. That would have been enough. That's what God meant when He said, I should have said hello and goodbye. I didn't need to bring him into my life. I didn't need to share a part of me with him. I had no business doing that. Anyway, so it was difficult for me to let go. Um, and that's how it's supposed to be. And that's how it is sometimes. Even with the friendships that I found myself in, it was very difficult for me to let go, because there were good things that happened in the friendship, and there were bad things that happened. And the thing is, with the bad things, they're not like bad things like the normal bad things that we would notice in a friendship, like shouting or fighting or anything. No, there was none of that. But when I started praying, God started to show me things that were hidden in plain sight, things that were hidden that I didn't even know that existed, things that were said about me, things that were were done to me that I didn't see. I found myself having to admit that I was pouring and I was pouring and I was pouring into these friendships, and I would leave my cup empty, for example. Goes back to that people pleasing business, that I was so much in love with. So I had to understand that no, you didn't have to do this. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to be, you know, to try to be their savior, Faith. I'm their savior, not you. You didn't have to go that extra mile, because my thing was, I need to, I, I think, I think the truth is, I wanted to take the pain of the people that I care about and make it my own. And unfortunately, I cannot do that. I can't do that even for my own kids. I can't. My children have to go through their own things in life. They have to go through their own hardship. That's what strengthens them. That's what strengthened me. So how dare I think now I need to take other people's pain. I can't do that. I don't have capacity to do that. That is not my job. Yeah, my job is to care about them. My job is to, speak life into them, or help them also speak life into themselves, because I can't help people who don't want help. I can't force people to heal when they don't want to heal. I honestly can't. I can't do. I had to be honest and say, you cannot do the things that you think that you can do. You don't have that much power. The only power that I have is to pray for them and leave them in God's hands. And if God says I must live their lives, I must not I must not ever hesitate to do what I'm told to do. I've learned that the hard way. I must remove myself. I don't have to explain myself for anything. In most cases, I don't do that anymore, because I felt the need that I need to explain myself to people. I need to make sure they are okay. No, sometimes you just need to leave. And you will see if a friendship was a real friendship when you pull back. You will see if the person is going to reach out to you. You will see if you are the one who was constantly reaching out. You'll see. um with relationships, because obviously there's soul ties and all of this other stuff that we don't know about, and then we find out when things are going south. So there's soul ties and there's this attachment, so even if I would pull back, the person would want to be friends, which I don't believe in. I don't believe that I can be friends with somebody that I laid with. For me, that is just bulldog. It just doesn't happen. The only, not even friends, the only person that I would probably be friends with is someone that I have a child with, and I only have a child with my ex-husband. So, and we're not even friends. We're just humans who happen to have made another human, and that's it. And that also comes from the abuse during our marriage, and the abuse after the marriage, and the nasty divorce, and all of these other things. Um, so I don't believe in friendships with people that I was in a relationship with. I just don't think that they can be a pure relationship. And in some of my relationships, I was forced to be okay with this man being friends with their ex. It's got nothing to do with jealousy, guys. It's just something that I believe in. I just don't see. You let me know what your feelings are on this, but this is my thing. I just, I don't want to be friends with my exes. I just don't see the reason why we should be friends. I do understand that we have to be, kind to each other and nice to each other and greet each other on the street and whatever, and that's great. But like, I cannot be going out for dinner with you. I cannot be doing the same activities. I remember that my ex um, wanted us to still exercise together, wanted us to still go to gym together. I was like, no, no, why? Why must we still be doing the same things that we were doing when we were going out? Like, how do I explain this to someone that I'm dating? That, oh, I'm actually meeting my ex-boyfriend for dinner. And the same people that used to see us running together, going to gym together, exercising together are probably going to think, things are still the same. And I don't want that. It's not about people. I just don't want confusion in my life. I don't want any type of confusion. If it's confusing for me, I will separate myself from it very fast. That is just how I am. As loving as I am, my detachment game is as hard as I love as well. And that's another thing that people didn't understand about me, because I it's either I do something or I don't, regardless of what it is. Um, so when I detach myself, they don't believe that, no, the same faith that was nice to me, the same faith that was, doing all these things for me, loving me like this. It's not that I don't love you. It's just that I don't want you in my life. It's okay to love people from far, and wave when you see them from time to time. That's great, no problem. But we there's nothing between that. There's nothing between us. So I don't see the reason why we should be friends. We were not friends before, or we could have been friends before the relationship and friends during, but being friends after is a no-no for me. So my friends, the chosen ones, guys, if you are called for a purpose, please understand that navigating relationships is going to be hard for you, but it's okay. What God wants you to do is to surrender to Him and let Him take care of that department in your life. In fact, He wants to take care of every department in your life. He wants to take care of the department of finances. He wants to take care of the department of relationships. He wants to take care of the department of your soul. He wants to enrich your soul in his way. He wants to do things his way, not your way. So when you surrender, you just let go of everything, right? You're like, okay, here I am. That's all that he wants you to do. He wants you to be a child again. That's why he wants us to have childlike faith. That's why he's calling us to have childlike faith. We must be like kids when we come to God. We can't come to God without degrees. We can't come to God with our wisdom, because we have none anyway. We can't come to God with our experience. We can't come to God with knowing. No, we come to Him and say, here I am. I know nothing. Please lead me. Please show me the way that I should take. Please show me the people that I should be with. Please bring me the person that you want me to be with, and help me to reject everything that is not of you in my life. That's all that He wants us to do. Thank you so much, guys. I just felt like I need to say this message, and I hope it helps somebody. I hope that it helps somebody out there. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your experiences have been about the things that I spoke about. I'd really love to hear from you, and take care of yourself all the time. Bye, guys.